If your AI agent can take action, you need an audit trail, not just logs. A trail that explains what happened. Here is the problem with a lot of AI agent workflows. They look useful while everything is going well. The agent reads something. It summarizes something. It updates something. It sends something. And everyone feels like the workflow is working until something goes wrong. A ticket gets closed too early. A vulnerability gets downgraded without enough evidence. A customer message goes out with the wrong context. An approval gets skipped. A tool runs when it should not have run. Then the first question becomes simple. What happened? And if your system cannot answer that question, you do not have an agent workflow. You have a black box with permissions. So in this video, I want to show you how to build audit trails for AI agents so every important action can be reviewed, replayed, and improved. An AI agent audit trail is the record of how an agent moved from input to action. It should show what the agent saw, what context it used, what decision it recommended, what confidence or policy applied, what tool it called, what changed in the target system, who approved it, who edited it, and what the final result was. That does not mean storing every token forever. It means storing enough structured evidence to reconstruct the workflow later. If you cannot reconstruct the workflow, you cannot debug it. If you cannot debug it, you cannot safely scale it. The first layer is the input and context snapshot. What triggered the agent? Was it a new ticket, a vulnerability finding, an email, a Slack message, a scheduled job, a file change? You need to record the trigger type, timestamp, source system, object ID, and the context the agent was allowed to use. For example, if an agent triages a vulnerability, the audit trail should capture the scanner finding ID, asset ID, severity, exposure status, owner tags, exploit intelligence, and any policy version used. This matters because context changes. A finding can be rescanned. An asset can move behind a firewall. A ticket can be edited. A policy can change. If you only look at the current state later, you may not see what the agent saw at decision time. So the snapshot protects the investigation. The second layer is the decision record. This is not chain of thought. You do not need to store private internal reasoning. You need a structured explanation of the decision. Decision made, recommendation, confidence, evidence used, evidence missing, policy rule applied, risk level, expected next action. That gives humans something they can review. If the agent recommends changing a priority from high to medium, the audit trail should say why, not in vague language. In evidence language, a set is internal only. No known exploit observed, compensating control present. Patch owner assigned. Missing evidence, latest authenticated scan. Now the reviewer can challenge the decision. And if the decision was wrong, you know exactly which assumption failed. The third layer is tool calls and permissions. Every tool call should be logged. Tool name, purpose, input parameters, permission level, execution time, result summary, error state, whether the call was read only or write capable. This is where many agent systems get weak. They log the final answer, but not the actions that created it. That is not enough. If an agent touched Jira, GitHub, Slack, a vulnerability scanner, a database, or a cloud console, you need to know what call was made, and you need to know whether that call was allowed by policy. Tool logs are how you catch permission drift. They show when an agent is using a tool too often, using the wrong tool, retrying dangerously, or touching systems outside its expected lane. The fourth layer is approvals, overrides, and human edits. This connects directly to approval gates. If a human approved an action, log who approved it, when they approved it, what they saw, what they changed, what they rejected, and whether the agent's recommendation was accepted as is. This creates the feedback loop. If humans constantly edit the same type of output, the agent needs improvement. If humans override the same decision category, the policy might be wrong. If approvals are always rubber stamped, maybe the action can be graduated. If approvals are frequently rejected, keep the action gated. The audit trail turns approval into training data for the workflow, not model training data necessarily. Operational training data. It tells you where the system earns trust and where it still needs control. The fifth layer is outputs and system of record changes. What did the agent produce? What changed after approval? Is a ticket updated? Was a message sent? Was a record changed? Was an alert closed? Was a file created? Was a deployment triggered? For every meaningful change, store the before and after state. Diff, target system, ID, timestamp. Act, approval reference. This matters because the output is not just text. The output is the impact. If the system of record changed, you need a record of that change tied back to the agent run that caused it. That is how you make the workflow accountable. Now there's a trap here. Logging everything can create a new security problem. Audit trails should be useful, but they should not become a pile of secrets. Do not dump raw credentials. Do not store full tokens. Do not capture unnecessary customer data. Do not preserve sensitive prompts forever just because it is easy. Use redaction. Use references instead of raw data where possible. Store object IDs, hashes, policy versions, and summarized evidence. Keep raw payloads only when the investigation value is worth the storage risk, and apply retention rules. Some logs may need to last for compliance. Some logs can expire quickly. The point is not to hoard data. The point is to preserve accountability. Here's a cybersecurity example. Imagine a vulnerability TRIAGE agent. The agent reads a scanner finding, asset inventory, exposure status, exploit intelligence, ownership, and patch history. The audit trail should capture the finding ID, asset ID, scanner timestamp, and policy version. It should record the agent's recommendation. For example, keep severity high because the asset is externally exposed and exploit intelligence is present. It should record the evidence used, external exposure confirmed, exploit observed in intelligence feed, owner assigned, patch available. It should record missing data, no recent authenticated scan. It should record the proposed ticket update. It should record whether a human approved it. It should record the final JIRA change. Now, if someone asks why that ticket was prioritized, you can answer. Not with vibes, with a trail. Here is the checklist. Log the trigger. Log the source object ID. Snapshot the context used. Record the policy version. Record the decision summary. Record confidence and risk level. Record evidence used. Record missing evidence. Record every tool call. Record permission level. Record approval status. Record human edits and overrides. Record before and after values. Record the final output. Redact secrets. Set retention rules. Review override patterns. Use the trail to improve the workflow. That is how you make agent behavior inspectable. AI agents do not become trustworthy because the demo looked good. They become trustworthy when their actions can be inspected, when their decisions can be reviewed, when their mistakes can be traced, when their approvals can be measured, and when their impact can be tied back to evidence. So before you give an agent more autonomy, build a trail. What did it see? What did it decide? What did it do? Who approved it? What changed? If your workflow can answer those questions, you are building something that can actually survive production.